Well, hello everybody. As you can see, we're in a different situation than normal. Internet issues for Xfinity. I'm downstairs now, and this little modem here, this little modem is acting kind of schizophrenic. It's supposed to have a little white light right here, which it does at the moment. So I do have internet at the moment, but any minute it'll plop to orange or green and pop right back out. As fast as it pops in, it pops out. So to try to stream something would be, you talk about circles in the sand, I mean, it would be like 5 interruptions. So I got to figure out what's going on with it. They were saying something about they were doing testing in the area, but this has gone on since last night, which is why I did not do a Rockies game last night. I'm recording this on Wednesday morning, roughly 9 o'clock, which is when I normally would stream. Of course, as long as it takes to upload videos into YouTube, you might not see this until Saturday. Who knows? But I at least want to get the game out there. So we're in Seattle, Detroit against Seattle. Game number 536, third game in the July 2nd date at the Kingdome, which is homer friendly, 1-17 for home runs, 1-5 for singles. And the pitching matchup, it is two left-handers. Frank Tanana for the Detroit Tigers, Lee Guetterman for the Seattle Mariners. And both teams have loaded their lineups with a lot of right-handed hitting to try to counteract the left-handed pitching. Lee Guetterman comes to the game 1-4, and he's got a wild pitch of 5, balk of 0 with a -1 hold. He's a +2 hold, but Dave Valley is a -3 on his hold. Detroit 39-35 coming into this game. Seattle 34-43. This is going to be a little different because I don't have the computer handy to give stats and whatnot. I'm just going to play the game. I'm not going to score it as I played. I'll score it after the fact. I do have the X charts here ready to go. Got my dice and everything ready to go. And as usual, even with all the stuff going on, we have our ceremonial first sip. That didn't change. As I said, right now it showed internet. Now my computer is showing not internet. So I mean, it's something's going on. The problem is, they say, well, if you want to test your modem, go get the Xfinity app. Well, I can't get the app because the internet pops. My Play Store won't open up properly because the internet is iffy. So I can't even test that. And I've done everything. I've unplugged it. I've cleaned it. I blew out any dust that might be in there. Now it's doing it again. The white light has just turned to orange. And it's like a vicious cycle that it's doing here. And the connection, I've unconnected the coaxial cable, reconnected it as tight as it could possibly go. I've tried everything. I've reset it. I hit the reset button in the back. I've done everything on this thing. And it's like it lasts for 5 or 10 minutes and then it pops out for 10 to 15 minutes. And it's just this vicious cycle that keeps going over and over and over. So it's very frustrating. Hopefully, and I need to cut grass today, so I don't have time to mess with this stuff all day long. Maybe this evening I'll play with it and see if I can get it straight for tomorrow. I don't know. May have to end up calling Xfinity and see if it's something wrong with the box or whether they're actually physically having problems getting signal out here. If the signal is intermittent, then the modem obviously can't do anything. You can only go by what the signal gives you. All right, so enough of that. I know this is going to be low production here, but hey, I've never been high production to begin with, so we're right on par. We're just going to play the game, analog as can be. I know this lamp that I have here is kind of a yellowish tint, but that's just the lamp I have in this living room, and that's all we can do with it. So fortunately there is some sunlight coming in through the windows. It helps light the room up a little bit, but I don't know how this is going to look until I see it later. But we'll play it, and if it's crap, it's crap. I can't help it. But all right, here we go. Lou Whitaker. That's a 3-9 for Whitaker against the lefty, and that's a 1 for a single. Anything else, he will line it to second base. And that's a liner to Harold Reynolds for out number 1. So 1 down, and that's going to send up Bill Madlock, designated, first baseman. 2-11 for Madlock against the left-hander is a fly to right. Boy, 210 would have been a home run, but 2-11 is a fly to right. That's out number 2, and here comes Kirk Gibson. And that's a 3-7 for Gibson against the lefty. He walks. 2-out walk to Gibson. And now the modem is, I can see it here, it's blinking green. You can see how it's just a vicious cycle of doing this the whole time. All right, so let's see if Gibson can get a lead. As we said, Guetterman's a -1 pitcher-catcher quotient. So Gibson would need a 5 or a 6 to get the good lead. He does not get it. He will hold, and here comes Alan Trammell. 2-10 for Trammell, and that's a ground ball to short. That'll do it. Nothing doing for the Tigers. We go to the bottom of the first. Detroit nothing, Seattle coming to bat. Frank Tanana in the 87 season was, if I can get it, I can't even see if I can see on here or not. 15-10 with a 3.91 ERA for Frank Tanana. He'll be facing John Moses, center fielder for Seattle, to start things off. 1-9, and that's going to be a line out to third. And I'm actually, it's very awkward trying to play this game because I'm actually standing up over top of my phone. So I don't know how the volume is because I don't have a microphone or anything like that. I'm just talking into whatever mic the phone has. And so hopefully the sound is okay. Now the modem again, it's back to solid white. So it's like I said, it's almost schizophrenic. 3-3, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. I'm not going to understand if there's something wrong. You'd think it'd just be out and be totally out, but be going back and forth like that just doesn't make any sense to me. To me, it's either in or it's out. I mean, either it's working or it's not, but whatever. 3-8, and that's a ground ball to short to end the inning. Like I said, I'm not tech savvy, so I don't know the ins and outs of that. Hopefully it will eventually get back to the way it used to be. We start the top of the second. It is Larry Herndon, right fielder. 1-8 for Herndon. He flies to center. And the reason why I'm standing up over the phone and playing it this way is that way I can look through the phone to make sure that the focus and everything didn't get messed up, because sometimes if I put my hand in front of something or whatever, it gets blurry and I don't know about it because I can't see it. But if I'm up here looking at my phone, I can see it. If it happens, I can fix it. But if I'm just sitting in the chair playing, it can go out of focus and I'll never know it. All right, here is Chet Lemon. Lemon, that's a 4-8, and that's a walk. Second walk issued by Guetterman. Lemon, no threat to run. And that'll bring up third baseman Tom Brookins. 1-6 for Brookins, and that's a ground ball third base. Hey, that's an around the horn 5-4-3 double play. So if you want to call this Studio L for living room, go right ahead. I don't get into that kind of thing. I don't have studios, I've got rooms. All right, here is Jim Presley, the Hound Dog. He will lead things off. 1-5, and that's a ground ball to short. 1 away for Alvin Davis. 6-9, and that's a fly to center field, out number 2. One thing, hopefully, this might be a quicker version of the game because I'm not having to go through all these stats or take the time to enter the computer. I'm just rolling the dice. So 4-8, Brantley Tanana struck him out. First strikeout for Tanana. 2 innings in the books, and we got no score from the Kingdom. Tigers and Mariners. Hopefully tomorrow, in some form or fashion, we will have the Brewers and the Angels from Anaheim. That's the plan anyway, but you know how plans go. Here's Coles, 1-4. That's a pop out to short. 1 away. I guess I'll have to record the game I was going to stream last night for the Rockies at some point, if I'm stuck in this mode. Here's Heath, 4-6, and that's a single. Single for Heath. He's no threat to run. And here's Lou Whitaker. 2-7 for Whitaker, and that's a strikeout. 2 down. First strikeout for Guetterman. And this is back the way I used to do it, just recordings. And really, realistically, I mean, the live stream is nice and everything, but if you get say I get 150 views on any particular video or any game that I do, at least 80% of those are after the fact. Very few are actually watching as it's happening. So whether it's done live or recorded, it really almost doesn't matter. The only thing is, if it's recorded, it takes a long time to upload and it's a pain. That's why the live stream usually is the better thing, because once you do it, it's out there. I don't have to upload it, which takes forever. Especially with if I'm having internet problems, it's going to really take forever. Here's Madlock, 110. That's a ballpark blast for Madlock, 1-17. This might be gone, a 2-run home run. And it is Bill Madlock, a 2-run home run for the veteran Bill Madlock. Bill Madlock, a home run for Mr. Madlock. And the Tigers lead it 2-0. And here is Kirk Gibson. 6'4", and that's going to be a catcher X. So we're looking at Valley. Valley is a 2 and a 6. I'm not going to show the charts because that's going to get the focus out of all screwed up. So I'm just going to read them offline or off the camera here. 2.6 for a catcher is a P/P. And then the error rating is a 2. So his only error chances are 17 and 18. So it'll be a pop-up to end the inning. But the 2-run home run off the bat of Mr. Bill Madlock gives the Tigers a 2-0 lead. Going to the bottom of the third, bottom of the order for the Seattle Mariners, it'll be John Christensen, Ray Quinones, and Harold Reynolds due up. 6-5, and that's going to be a fly to center. 1 away for Ray Quinones. 4-8, and that's a strikeout for Tanana, his second. And that'll send up Harold Reynolds. 6-12, and that's going to be a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Herndon. He's a 4. That could be trouble. But 4 and 18 is good. His error rating is pretty good, though. His error rating is only a 4. He just has no range. So on an E4 for a right fielder, he just has to avoid 3, 4, 15, and 18, which he does. So it's good play for Herndon. He makes the play, and the Mariners are out in order here in the bottom of the third. We played 3 from the Kingdome. It's Tigers 2, Seattle nothing. One thing about recordings, I can pause the video if I need to, or pause the recording if I need to, and if something, I need to go to the restroom or get more coffee or whatever the case is, I can pause it. So, all right, here is Alan Trammell. 110 for Trammell, and that's a regular single. There was an anti-clutch there, but we're not in that situation. So, Trammell is aboard, and he's going to try for the lead. He needs a 5. Whoop, that got held up, so let's try that again. Doesn't get the 5, so he will hold. And here comes Herndon. 4-6, and that's a single to right field. Trammell might try to go to third on this. He was being held, makes him a 13, but to go from right field, on a single from right field to go to third base, you add 2, makes that a 15. Right fielder arm, Christensen -1 for a 14. 1-14, they're going to send Trammell. 1-14, he's safe at third. And he's in there at third base. So runners are on the corners with nobody out. Herndon stays at first. And here's Chet Lemon. That's a 2. We're looking at a balk chance on Guetterman, which I believe is a 0. It is. Both pitchers have wild pitch 5 and balk 0. Kind of interesting that they were the same. Seattle playing back for the double play. They need outs. 3-8 against the lefty. That's a walk. It's going to load the bases. So the bases are loaded with nobody out. And Guetterman in trouble for the first time in this game. Tom Brookins, your batter. Infield still looking for that double play. 110. It is a ground ball to third. Good thing they weren't playing in, because that would have been big time trouble. So third base B, they're going to get the fielder's choice at second base. So it's going to go 5-4. But it is an RBI ground out by Brookins. Scoring is Trammell. Herndon goes to third. 1 out, runners on the corners. And now Brookins will try for a lead. Needs a 6 or a 7. And he gets the 7. He's going to go. 15 being held. 13 -1 is a 12. 1-12 for Brookins. And he steals it. So Brookins steals second base. A lot of people wouldn't have tried that, but hey, on this channel we try stuff. Infield now in for Seattle with runners at second and third and 1 out. And here's Darnell Coles, the DH. 3-6 for Coles. Ground ball to short. That's going to get they're going to get Herndon at the plate on a fielder's choice. 6-2. Brookins will go to second base, but they do cut the runoff at the plate as they tag out Herndon trying to score. 2 down, 2-1. 1 in, and here's Mike Heath. 5-10 against Guetterman. That's a ballpark single check, which is a 1-5. And that's a 1. Base hit's going to load the bases again. So bases are loaded once again for Lou Whitaker with 2 outs. Clutch situation for Mr. Whitaker. And in the clutch against lefties, he loses a couple of hits here, 3-7 and 3-10. That's a 5-10, and that's a fly to left to end the inning. So with all that going on, the Tigers only get 1 run. It seemed like they would have scored 3 or 4 runs there, but to get the guy thrown out at the plate and then leaving the bases loaded, that minimizes the run scoring. So Seattle is still in it. It's only 3-0. But the way Tanana is pitching, that might be enough. Due up for Seattle, back to the top of the order, and John Moses. 6-7, switch hitter, and that is a strikeout. That is strikeout number 3 for Tanana. That will bring up Phil Bradley. 5-10, and that's a ballpark single check again. 1-5. And that's a 4, base hit for Bradley. First hit of the game for the Mariners. Bradley's going to look to run, or at least get the lead. Needs a 2 through 5. And he gets it. He's going to go. 19 being held to 17. -1 to 16. And he's in there. Stolen base for Phil Bradley. So Bradley's in scoring position with 1 out. It also takes the double play out of the equation. And here's Dave Valley. 6-3. That's a ballpark single again. Or a ballpark single chance. 1-5. And that's a 2. So there we go. First and third. Only 1 out, and here's the hound dog, Jim Presley. Tigers looking to turn 2 and get out of the inning. 1-6, it's a strikeout, so it's not a double play, but I think Tanana will take it. 2 down, clutch situation now. Alvin Davis, lefty on lefty matchup. Alvin Davis in the clutch against lefties will lose 1 hit on the 2-8. And that's a 2-7, so he barely avoids that, but the 2-7 is a ground ball to first. And Madlock will just step on the bag himself. And Tanana puts up another goose egg on the board. We go to the 5th. 3-0 favor of the Tigers. And I am going to pause the video real quick because my back is getting sore from leaning over like this. So I need to take a little break between the 4th and 5th innings. And we'll come right back. And hopefully on your end it'll be seamless. Okay, while I took a little break, I did take the liberty of putting this game in the computer up to the minute. So this is where we stand right now. You can see that the Tigers lead at 3-0. 3 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for the Tigers. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for the Mariners. And, of course, the home run from Bill Madlock turned out to be his third of the replay. So there we go. So let's see if we can keep it going. Here as we start the top of the 5th with Mr. Madlock once again. That's a 5-4 for Guetterman, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-12. Matlock could go 2 home runs in this game. 1-12, it's gone. It's a 13, deep fly to left. He just missed it. There's one away. Matlock was sure he had that one, but he did not, unfortunately for him. But fortunately for the Mariners. Here's Gibson. 2-4, lefty, and that's a ground ball to Harold Reynolds. 2 down. And I'm looking at my modem. It's over there blinking orange. It's doing all kinds of crap. So who knows? I'm going to do a deep dive, cavity search on a thing after this game is over, I think. And well, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I don't know. It could just be that they're doing tests in the area and everybody's having this problem. I have no way of knowing. 3-6, 1-18 is a single. And that's a base hit for Trammell. So Trammell, a 2-out single, and he's going to try for the lead. Needs a 5 to get the lead. Doesn't do it. So here comes Larry Herndon. 1-5 for Herndon, struck him out. And for Guetterman, that is just the second strikeout for him. But we go to the bottom of the 5th, score still 3-0 Tigers. And due up for the Mariners, it'll be Mickey Brantley, their designated hitter, followed by Christensen and Quinones. Brantley is first time up, strikeout. 4-6, and this time 1-8's a single. Anything else he lines to short. And that's a liner right to Trammell. So Brantley is retired. And here is John Christensen. 2-5 against the lefty, and that's a ground ball to third. Handled over there by Brookins, 2 down. 2 outs for Ray Quinones. 1-8 for Quinones. He grounds to Trammell, and that will do it. Another 3-up, 3-down inning for the Mariners. They can't get anything going, really, against Tanana. So we go to the 6th. It's still 3-0 Tigers. And this is the fatigue inning for Lee Guetterman. You see on his card, he's got a 6 there for fatigue, starter fatigue. So we'll keep an eye on him as he is a 6. It'll be Chet Lemon due up for the Tigers. He'll be followed by Brookins and Coles. So Lemon steps up. He is 0 for 0. He's walked twice. 110. And that's a split chance. 1-5 is I'm sorry, 1-5 is a single. 6-20 lines to short. And that's a 5. But we're getting some low numbers on those splits. And it's producing singles for the batters. So Chet Lemon with a leadoff single. No threat to run, of course. And now Brookins. 6-8 for Brookins. That's a fly to center. Moses hauls that in, 1 away. That'll take us to Darnell Coles. 1-7 for Coles against the lefty is a fly to center. 2 down. And that'll send up the number 9 hitter, Mike Heath, catcher. Lemon's still at first with 2 outs, not moving anywhere. 6-6, and that's a single to center field. Lemon runs at a 12. There were 2 outs. He's not being held as a 13. 2 outs makes him a 15. 1-15, he could try to go to third. But with 2 outs, he's pretty much already in scoring position, so they will just leave him there. Not risk the throw, or not risk being thrown out. And now Whitaker in a clutch situation, 2 outs and 2 on again. Loses those 2 hits, 3-7 and 3-10. That's a 2. Looking at a pass ball on Valley, which is only a 2. He's got a pass ball rating of 2. So no pass ball. That's a 2-5 for Whitaker, and that's a fly to right field to end the inning. So Guetterman will pitch into the 6th as he still maintains a little bit of endurance. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Tanana will be coming out. And I need to pause the video real quickly again so I can heat my coffee, and then we'll continue. All right, bottom of the 6th, we got Harold Reynolds. It's still 3-0. Reynolds leads it off, followed by Moses and Bradley. 1-4, and that's a solid double for Harold Reynolds to start off the bottom of the 6th. Seattle trying to get off the schneid. That's a good start. They lead off double with a fast runner at second. And here's John Moses. Tanana has not pitched out of the stretch very often. 3-6 for Moses. He's going to pop it up to Whitaker. That's not a good at bat. You got to at least advance the runner if you're going to make an out. Get him to third with less than 2 outs, but couldn't get it done. And here's Phil Bradley. 5-8, and that's a strikeout for Tanana. So Seattle looked promising to start the inning, but the last 2 batters have let it slip through their fingers, and now it's all up to Dave Valley to get the run home. It's a clutch situation. He does get a hit in the clutch on a 2-5, but how many times can you roll 2-5? There's a 6-5, and that's going to be a fly to center, so they waste the leadoff double. Not only does Reynolds not score, he doesn't even make it to third base. That's how bad that was. Completed 6 here at the Kingdome, and it's still 3-0 Tigers. Much lower scoring game than I would have anticipated, that's for sure. So Guetterman back out. He is, like I said, on borrowed time here, as he's already very close to being fatigued. I did go ahead and bring it up on the computer. I do have it. I am scoring it. When I paused, I was able to catch up on the scoring, so I'm up to the minute on scoring. So the computer will tell me when Guetterman is tired. I think I can kind of figure it out on my own, but it's always nice to have computer backup to confirm what you believe. Here's Madlock, 6-6. Solid single. And now Seattle has bullpen activity. They do have some right-handed activity in the bullpen. They have a right-hander by the name of Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas is loosing in the bullpen. Roy Thomas was 1-0 with a 5.23 ERA real world. So Roy Thomas, a right-hander, loosening in the bullpen in back of Lee Guetterman. Here's Gibson. 1-9 for Gibson against the lefty. That's a single to center. Madlock stops at second base. That might be enough to make Guetterman tired. I think it is. Yep, the computer just confirmed it. So before Alan Trammell comes to bat, we will have a pitching change, as that's going to be all for Mr. Guetterman. And we're going to pause and bring in Mr. Thomas. All right, we're back with the new pitcher, Roy Thomas. He's had limited duty with the Mariners so far in the replay. In the replay, he's only pitched 4 innings, but he hasn't done well. He's given up 10 hits, 2 walks, no strikeouts, and an ERA of 12.27. So, needless to say, he could stand a good outing here. He's going to face Alan Trammell, first and second. Get the numbers on Guetterman at the end of the inning. Here's Trammell, 1-9 against the righty. That's a single to right field. And that'll load the bases. They're not going to risk it with Madlock. Bases are loaded, nobody out. And that'll bring up Herndon. Mariners down 3-0 already, and their offense has gone pretty much stagnated. They're going to play the infield in. 4-10. It's a strikeout from Thomas, so that helps. That helps their cause, at least. Now the infield will go back to a double play depth, because a double play would get them out of the inning. And here is Chet Lemon. That's a 5-4. It's a ground ball, third base X. Presley has a chance to turn 2. His range is a 2. 2 and a 12. 2 and a 12 is a G1, so it would be a double play as long as there's no error. He's an E24. He has to avoid 9, 12, 15, and 18. And that's a 13, so I do believe, let me double check it, but I believe that's going to be okay. E24, there's a 12 and 15, but no 13, so that's going to be a 5-4-3 around the horn double play to end the inning. And now we can close Guetterman at 3 runs, 3 earned. 6 2/3, 10 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. So Thomas gets out of the mess. And we go to the 7th inning stretch. Score remains Detroit 3 and Seattle nothing. Tanana, previous inning was his fatigue inning, but he only gave up 1 hit, so he is still in good shape as far as fatigue goes. And the Hound Dog, see what he can do. 6-8. 6-8's a fly to left. 1 down. That'll send up Alvin Davis. 5-5, and that's a 1-5 triple. 6-20 is a single. That's a 6. 1 out single for Alvin Davis. And here comes Mickey Brantley. Mickey Brantley. 2 possible balk or pass ball. We're looking at a possible balk, but Tanana's a 0 balk. 5-8. That's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. Still got a little bit of juice left in him. So 2 down for John Christensen. That's a 3-11 against the lefty, and that's going to produce a run most likely. 1-6 is a triple. 7-20 is a double. That'll be a double. Let's see if Davis can score. I say most likely, but then again, maybe not. Davis doesn't run all that well. He runs at an 11. Was not being held as a 12. 2 outs is a 14. The double's assumed to go to center field, and the center fielder, Lemon, is a -1, so it's a 1-13 to score him. I think with Ray Quinones coming up, you got to try to score this run. 1-13. And he's in there. So it will be and taking third on the throw is Christensen because he runs at a 13. But it's an RBI double for Christensen. And now the Tiger bullpen is up in earnest. Mike Henneman loosening in the pen. It's now a 3-1 game. The tying run is at the plate in Ray Quinones. Clutch situation for Quinones. He is actually going to lose just 1 hit, 2-7 in the clutch. That's a 6-4 right-hander catcher X. We're looking at Heath. Heath is a 2. 2 and a 9 as a catcher. 2 and a 9 is a P/F, so it's a possible pass ball. And the error rating is an E3, so he has to avoid 16 and 18, which he does. So we're looking at the wild pitch rating of Tanana to determine if a pass ball has occurred. He's a 5. No pass ball, so it will be a pop-out to end the inning. Seattle gets the run, though. Cuts the lead to 3-1, stays in the game. As we head to the top of the 8th. Roy Thomas back out. And he will be facing, bottom of the order, Brookins, Coles, and Heath. So Tommy Brookins, 5-6, and that's a pop out to second base. Harold Reynolds is right there, 1 away. And that'll send up Darnell Coles, but he will be called back, I think. Now that the righty's in the game, the Tigers have a lot of left-handers on the bench they can go to. And they're going to go to Mr. Darrell Evans to take over as DH. So Evans will pinch hit for Coles, and then stay in the game to play DH. So Evans pinch hit in the 8th inning. Darrell Evans. So we got to bring Darrell Evans on in the computer to hit for Coles. Just seems to make the most sense right now to do that. So Evans stepping to the plate. 2-7, and he strikes out. So Evans is out, 2 down for Mike Heath. I believe the Tigers will also make a move and take Herndon out and bring in Sheridan, a much better defender for the last 2 innings. So here is Heath. That's a 2-10, and he grounds it to third to Presley to end the inning. So Thomas still doing quite well for himself. But as the aforementioned move to be made, Pat Sheridan will come in and play right field in place of Larry Herndon. As you can see the difference in the defense. Herndon a 4E4 and Sheridan is a 2E9 with a -3 arms. So Sheridan will take over in right field for Herndon in these last couple of innings. Sheridan, I think I'm shaking the stand that the little bar, the arm that's holding the phone up is on the table, and I think I'm shaking the table here. Sorry about that as I'm writing. So Sheridan will take over in right field. So that improves the Tiger defense. And now, let's see here. Let's go to the computer so I can put in that move of Sheridan in right field. All right. Tanana's going to start the inning against Harold Reynolds. We'll see how it goes. They do have Mike Henneman ready. Mike Guetterman in the bullpen is ready. That is Henneman, so he's definitely waiting to come into the game. But right now, Tanana's going to give it a go to start the inning against the switch hitter Harold Reynolds, who did double his last time up. 2 switch hitters and a righty coming up next. That's a 6-7 against the right-hander. That is a strikeout for Tanana. He hangs in there and gets a strikeout, his 7th. 7th strikeout. And here comes John Moses. That's a 6-5. And that's a fly to center, 2 down. So Tanana, they might try to coax 8 innings out of Tanana. As Phil Bradley comes to the plate. 5-5, and that is a 1-4 triple. Anything else is a double. This might be it for Tanana. That's going to be a triple for Phil Bradley. He had 10 of them, so you can definitely earns his triples. Phil Bradley, a triple. That's his 4th triple in the replay. And that's going to be it for Tanana. The tying run is coming to the plate. Sparky is already 3/4 of the way to the mound to make the move. He's motioned to the bullpen for the righty. And we're going to have Dave Valley pinch hitting against Mike Henneman. So Henneman is coming on. We'll get the numbers on Tanana at the end of the inning. Henneman on the real season, if I can get his numbers to show up here, on the real season. If I can get the focus here. Here we go. 11-3, 2.98 ERA. So we bring him on in the computer. That does allow Seattle to start unloading their left-handed pinch hitters. But if you're Sparky, you do what you got to do. Henneman also had 7 saves real world. Valley, 256 hitter. If you take him out, you got to bring in a new catcher. But boy, I think Seattle's going to make a move to the bench. They're going to get Ken Phelps. They're going to pinch hit with Ken Phelps, and then they will then bring in Scott Bradley to catch. So Ken Phelps will get the pinch hitting call. The big guy, big left-handed slugging hitter, Ken Phelps will get the call to pinch hit here in the 8th. And then Scott Bradley will catch in the 9th. So that means Bradley will catch in the 9th. Okay, so first things first, we bring in Phelps on the computer. And first batter that Henneman gets to face is the big guy, Ken Phelps. He definitely is a power threat. Tie the game with one swing of the bat. Real world, he hit 27 home runs in just 322 at bats. He hit 27 home runs, so his slugging percentage is out of this world. On the replay, he's already had 16 home runs in just 188 at bats. So Henneman's got to be careful. Facing Phelps in what is a clutch situation, and Phelps in the clutch will gain a hit on 310. That's a 5-9, and that's a fly to center, so Henneman gets out of it, and they keep Seattle off the board. Go to the 9th, still 3-1, and now Scott Bradley will come in to catch. And they're going to stick with Roy Thomas, it would appear. You got Whitaker. Actually, you know what? They might go to the lefty with these two. They got two lefties coming up. Whitaker and then Madlock and Gibson. So 2 out of 3 are left-handed. So it looks like Seattle will go to the left-handed, to the bullpen and go for a left-hander, Stan Clark. So Stan Clark will come in and pitch for to relieve Thomas. Clark is a 0 hold, but the new catcher, Bradley, is a +2, so it's still a +2. Thomas is going to go, well, let's do all this in the computer, then the computer will give me the numbers on Tanana and everything. Then I can wrap things up here and get all the stats where they need to be. So, left-hander Stan Clark is going to make his way in from the bullpen. We'll go to the box score and get the stats, final numbers on Tanana. Tanana looking to even his record at 6-6. Tanana, 7 2/3, 6 hits, only 1 run, which was earned. No walks and 7 strikeouts. The no walks was what was huge. Thomas, 2 innings pitched. I had Guetterman 6 2/3, so I don't know why. Oh, you know what? I don't know why I put 6 2/3. That was a mistake on my part. Guetterman only pitched 6 innings, not 6 2/3. We fix that. That should be just a plain old 6. Thomas gets credit for 2 full innings. Got a strikeout here and a double play here. So he gets credit for the full 2 innings. And he gives up nothing. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 hit, and that's it. 1 hit and 2 strikeouts, so nothing else. And now, Stan Clark is on. And Clark will be facing the top of the order. Whitaker, Madlock, and then Gibson. Oops, wrong team. Let's get Whitaker up here. Top of the 9th. 3-1 ball game. It's actually been a pretty decent game for as unorthodox as this presentation has been. Definitely different for me, that's for sure. Let's move this over just a touch. Looks like I'm losing a little bit of peripheries here, so I think that'll do it there. I think you can still see the cards okay. Hopefully. I mean, I have no idea because I don't know. And the lamplight I've got here above me is just a cheap old lamp, and it's got an orange tint to it. So hopefully it's not a big orange tint in the game. I have no idea. This is all new territory for me. All right, here's Clark. Clark on the season, on the real season, 2-2, 5.48 ERA. On the replays, 0-1 with an ERA of 9, but he's only pitched 10 innings, giving up 9 runs, 12 hits, 6 walks, 9 strikeouts. So Clark, 4-6 to Whitaker, lefty-lefty. That's an in-home run straight up, and Whitaker has normal power, so Whitaker greets Stan Clark with a straight-up home run to start the top of the ninth inning for Whitaker. That is home run number 17 on the replay. He only had 16 all year, real world. So in his 300, this was at bat number 300. He had 604 at bats, real world. So almost exactly half of his at bats, he has now exceeded his home run total for the whole 87 season. So he's one of those home run overperformers, as you'd say. 4-1 now, and here is Matlock. 6-10. That's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Quinones. 3 E31. Oh, and a 3-1's a base hit. E31 and an 8. That's not a problem for an error, but it will be a base hit for Matlock. He will reach. Matlock reaches, and that's going to send up Kirk Gibson. Matlock not being held. 110 for Gibson. That's a single to right field. So boy, Clark, as a left-handed reliever, not getting the job done right here. And I believe the Mariners will go to the bullpen once again for Jerry Reed. They're going to bring in their right-hander Jerry Reed because obviously Mr. Clark can't get it done. Clark doesn't get anybody out, gives up 3 hits. So far 1 run, but the other 2 are his responsibility. And Reed is on. And he'll be facing Trammell with first and second and nobody out. So it was a tight game. Now all of a sudden is about to hit the blowout stage. And Seattle had to go eastbound and down with Jerry Reed. So we'll see what he can do here against Trammell. Looking for a double play ball if he can get it. 311 for Trammell. That's a ballpark single check, which is a 1-5. And again, that low number comes up again on that evil white D20. Loads the bases for Pat Sheridan, his first at bat. Infield is in. They can't afford it. Even a double play for a run right now at this point is going to hurt them. So they got to play in. 5-7. That's ground ball second base X to Harold Reynolds. Reynolds is a 2. And the double tie comes up a 1 again. This is incredible that this would do that. 2 and a 1 is a single 1 star. Reynolds 7. I don't think that's going to be a problem for an error. It is not, but it's a single that's going to load. That's going to single from Sheridan. That's going to bring home a run, keep the bases loaded. 2 runs in for the Tigers. They lead it 5-1. And Chet Lemon, the batter, still nobody out. So they thought they had the double play ground ball, but it scooted through on the AstroTurf, and even Harold Reynolds couldn't get to it. Here's Lemon, infield still in. 4-10, that's a fly ball center field X. Now we're looking at Moses. He's a 2. 2 and a 6. That's probably at a minimum going to be a sacrifice fly. 2 and a 6 is an F2, so that will be a sacrifice fly. Check for the error E5. He's got to avoid 4, 16, 17, and 18, which he does. But it will be a sacrifice fly to center field. Scoring is Gibson. And that's going to put runners at first and second with 1 out for Tom Brookins. 3 runs are in now. It's now 6-1. 3-3 for Brookins, and that's a pop out to second base for out number 2. And that brings up Darrell Evans. Evans, first and second. Still a clutch situation by rule. 4-9, though, is a split. 1 is a single. Anything else, he lines to second. The inning's finally over. Whoops. And that is a line to second. So 3 runs come in for Detroit. They're all charged to Clark. His ERA is going to skyrocket. It is still a safe situation for Henneman because he came into the game when the score was still 3-1. So he can still benefit from all this and get a save, relatively easy save. Just has to get through the inning. If he runs into any kind of trouble, Willie Hernandez is not tossing yet, but he's kind of doing some light stretching just to be on the safe side. Leading off for Seattle is the Hound Dog, Jim Presley. 5-10. Ballpark single check. 1-5. But, and that's Seattle's bad luck. Now the D20 decides to go a little higher, and that will instead be a fly to right. So 1 away for Alvin Davis. 3-4 for Davis, and that's a ground ball to first. Madlock will take it to the bag himself. And that'll bring up Mickey Brantley, the designated hitter. 6-5 at the fly to center, and that's the ball game. Tigers start the West Coast trip with a 6-1 victory. Henneman's going to go an inning and a third and get his save. Tanana will get the win. The loss goes to Guetterman. He's going to drop to 1-5. Jerry Reed came in, gave up 2 hits, which is 1 inning, gives up 2 hits. No runs charged to him. Inherited runners, but no actual runs were charged against him. So we'll go and get this all totaled up for you, and then who knows what tomorrow brings, if I'm recording or if the internet's acting up or acting straight again. I don't know. We shall wait and see what happens, but I will get the totals on this game, get everything all lined up for the Tigers. 6 runs, 16 hits, and no errors. 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors for the Mariners. Henneman picks up his 4th save, going an inning and a third, and basically giving up nothing. No walks, no strikeouts, no nothing, all zeros on the board. Tigers improved to 40-35 to get their 40th win of the season. Mariners dropped to 34-44. All right, so as we wrap things up, we have the Tigers defeating the Mariners by the score of 6-1. 6 runs, 16 hits, no errors for the Tigers. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for the Mariners. Tanana the winner, Guetterman the loser, and Henneman his 4th save. So look ahead to tomorrow, whether it's going to be live or recording, who knows. But the scheduled game is Milwaukee and California, Juan Nieves against Mike Witt. And that'll be game number 537 in the replay from Anaheim Stadium in sunny California. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road. And actually, folks, before I sign out, the internet did come back on briefly enough, long enough for me to print the box score of the game we just played. Since I'm sitting right here by my printer, I figure what the heck. So there you see the box score, 5 runs, 16 hits, no errors. Well, it should have been 6 runs. I don't know why it says 2 runs there. Should say 3 runs. I got to figure out what happened on that and fix the stats for that. But anyway, Alan Trammell 4 for 5. He raised his average to 414 on the replay. So he is the league's leading hitter for sure. I will fix this and figure out what I did wrong on that as far as why only 2 runs showed up instead of 3, but we'll fix it. Home runs in the game, Whitaker is 17th, Madlock is 3rd. And you can see Tanana now 6-6 with an ERA of 4.20. Henneman is 4th save, ERA of 5.33. Lee Guetterman took a tough loss. He's 1-5, and boy, Stan Clark couldn't get anybody out. It shows 10.8, but really he gave up 3 runs there. I got to fix that, so I got to add a run against him, and that's going to really stack up his ERA. But that was played July the 2nd, and of course, tomorrow we'll be doing this game, and whether it's live or Memorex is anybody's idea. But that'll do it from here. I got other work to do, and then I got to try to figure out about this stupid modem, why it's acting schizophrenic. do a deep diagnostic on it, maybe a cavity search on it, I don't know, and find out if it's my modem that's the problem or whether it's with the signal coming in is intermittent being the problem. I have no idea. Like I said, I'm not tech savvy, but hopefully I can figure it out. If not, I'll have to call Xfinity and get somebody to come out here. But that usually takes 3 or 4 days before you can get an appointment to get them out here, so who knows. Might be a lot of recording coming up. Hard to say. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great day. Whenever this is able to upload with this intermittent internet, this thing could take 2 days to upload. Who knows? It's almost an hour long, so that's going to take a long, long time. So anyway, that's going to do it from here. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you all down the road.